Hello, you beautiful soul. So, I have a very specific message for somebody today. And I'm going to say some words, and if they resonate, then this message is for you. And if not, then it might not be for you. You can just listen in for your own entertainment purposes, I suppose. Um, so, if ancient Egypt, Atlantis, Lemuria, Starseed, Lightworker, Shadow Walker. What else did I get? That's pretty much it. Something about the light spectrum, but if any of those words resonate with you, then this message is going to be for you, okay? I'm just enjoying this sage right now. It smells so good. So, I wrote down a few things for you, okay? The very first thing that came up is looking at you is like looking at the sun. Something in your energy is so brilliant and bright that it is difficult for people to truly see you for all that you are. Okay. And what was coming through about that specific sentence was that it's not that people wouldn't want to see you for all that you are. It's just that they can't, you know, you're outside of their spectrum, right? And I feel like that's why the light spectrum came through, because I was thinking of being able to see physically 144 in the timer as I'm saying this. And so you are just absolutely brilliant. Okay, like imagine trying to look at the sun with your naked eye to see any type of detail, right? Like I couldn't. The light is so brilliant and, you know, I mean, overpowering really, that you can't stare at it long enough to really see any detail, right? Or you're just so like overwhelmed by the light that, you know, that's all you can like that's all you can take in that moment. You're just like, whoa. You know? Okay, so that's like what people see you as. Like when they see you and looking at you is like looking at the sun. Okay, it's difficult for people to really see all that you are because they just can't with their naked eye, right? And so there's nothing about you, and um, you know, there's nothing bad going on here. Um, it's not that there's anything that's not worthy of being seen. Like you're so worthy of being seen, and it takes a very certain type of person to be able to see you, right? Because you're outside of the normal spectrum, okay? And then on the topic of spectrum, because I kept thinking of spectrum, right? So like maybe you are on the spectrum, right? Or maybe you've been just labeled as different. And something about, I just saw a person that was just like stamped with labels, right? 3 3 on the timer. Maybe you're seeing threes. So I just saw a person like just stamped, like you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that, you know, and people labeling whatever. And so the message for you was about the fact that, first of all, you get to choose what you label yourself with. Okay, that came through. Like, or if at all, right? Like, I've gone through so many different stages with labels, but you get to choose regardless whether you use them or which labels you want to identify with. It's all your choice, you know. Like I identify, you know, as many different things. It doesn't really change the facts of anything, right? So something important for you, the message for you that was very important, was to shift your perspective about labels to use for your own understanding of yourself, 444, rather than something negative. Like, so whenever I was first seeing the person that was being stamped with labels by everybody else, it was like a negative thing. The person felt shame and guilt and embarrassment and fear and rejection and just a lot of really negative emotions, a lot of lower vibrational emotions, right? But it's like, it's not that it was right or wrong, the label itself, right? Like they're just saying, it was almost like seeing labels as descriptions rather than labels, you know? Being like me, an ADHD type of person, I can describe myself very easily, and having certain labels helped me to educate myself, to understand myself, so that I knew my patterns of behavior, what was nurture versus nature, you know, how I could change. I said change, it was 555 on the timer as I said that, as how I can change myself from the inside. You know, how can I rewire my brain, rewire my system, and reprogram myself to a way that's going to suit me and my highest purpose, right? So for whoever this is for, either you have been labeled or you label yourself in ways that are negative, that are lower vibrational, and that are limiting for your ascension, right? It's just the negative energy, I guess, that is attached to the intention behind the label or the way that it's received, okay? Because everything's energy, right? So if you can take control of that and shift that energy to seeing yourself outside of other people's spectrum. It's not that you are on a specific spectrum, it's that you are so far outside of other people's spectrum that they had to put a label on it just to help all of them understand or try to understand the complexity of you, right? And this is a conversation actually that just popped in my head about being so complex. It's a conversation that I have with my son because, you know, he's a very complex person like myself, you know, he's my son. And, you know, when I was growing up, I didn't have somebody to really explain to me things, right? So I thought I was a problem, you know, and then so he approached me and said something that was similar to that, like, you know, idea that he was a problem. And I was like, no, 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 no. If you're, you know, if you were and you wanted to consider yourself a problem because he loves math, I said, look at yourself as a math equation, right? Just a problem that, you know, you want to use the word problem, we'll use it as math problem, right? It's not an issue or it's not something bad. It's just where you're at in your journey, you know, and, you know, you came here as a really complex individual, and it takes certain type of people who know certain levels of math to be able to solve you, you know, or riddle you. And so of course, you know, he's super good at math, like I said, and he starts to just spout out this equation that I don't know, you know, and he's like, this and this and this plus this minus this, and I'm sure there were parentheses and letters in there and stuff. And you know, I'm just like, yeah, okay. And he was like, all of which equals 9, by the way. And I'm like, right on. And, you know, and he's like, okay, so I'm like that kind of problem. And he was like, yeah, and some people are just really like 1 + 1. You know what I mean? And he was really humble about it. He was like, I'm not trying to say that I'm better than anybody else, but I understand what you're saying, Mom. You're saying I'm just a very complex person. Yes, okay. So he gets it. I think he sees at almost 11 years old that some of us here are older souls. We've had a lot more experience, you know, and our equations and our levels of, you know, math have just gone up, right? Like you climb up grades, you know, you start out kindergarten math, first grade math, you know, and so he is starting to see that some of the souls here are very new and they're still on kindergarten math, 1 + 1, you know, or preschool math or whatever. And so there's something about you where you are either an ascended master, like in a past life, you have ascended your consciousness, and you, yeah, you're that. But I was getting heavy, like starseed vibes, like, you're out of this world. You ain't from here, and I can resonate with that heavy. I'm not from here. And sometimes it's very hard to be here because it's dense. It's very, very dense here. And the emotions, having an emotional body is, interesting, especially if you're like me and you have really strong, heavy water placements in your chart. So, and I guess that's part of my journey here is, really healing and working with my emotional body, right? So that could be for somebody, and that could resonate with several people. Who knows? But at the end of the day, the most important thing is just for you to remember and to understand and know that you are so brilliant. Your light, the light that shines within you, 1111 on the timer as I'm saying this, is so brilliant and so bright that some people just can't. They simply just can't, not where they're at right now. And some of us, I know for me, myself personally, I am also this type of person, but for me, I am an activator and a healer, right? So when people get within my auric field and in my presence, they're being activated by that light. Whether they can look at it or not, it's the same thing when you go out into the sun. Whether you choose to look at the sun or not, if it's shining on you, it's shining on you, honey. Like, it just is. Okay, and so you just are so brilliant and so beautiful and needed and important. And your light is literally what is anchoring in 1212 on the timer, anchoring in heaven, heaven on earth. Like, you're doing that just by being. And so today, the biggest message that is coming through is for you to completely 100% accept and love and embrace you and all of your brilliance, regardless of anybody else's capacity to do so. Okay? Because this is what's going to change the world. You, all of us, one at a time. One at a time, we accept ourselves. We love ourselves. We embrace ourselves. We appreciate ourselves, And then when we find people who find it hard to look into our eyes and see the brilliance that we, shine through, we don't take it personal, because we know and we have compassion and unconditional love, right? And we know, okay, maybe next time, or maybe we're not seeing with our human eyes even the activation that's happening within them. Okay, so that was that. You're brilliant, you're beautiful, you're amazing, you're needed, you're important, you're gifted and talented. And whether you know of your talents or not, you have them. I promise you, all of us have them. And it can be something so small. And some of us have many, many talents. And they're gifts, like they're gifts. And they're all very special ways that we can raise the vibration and raise the consciousness of the entire planet. Okay? I love you. Have a good day and a good week, the rest of your life. And also, if you made it this far to the end, please do like this video. Okay? Like it. Share it. If you know somebody who this will help, share it with them, please. Okay? We need to get some, other people to accept themselves, love themselves, be comfortable with themselves. Like, we need this. 144 on the timer. You're chosen. Okay? And if you know any other chosen ones, send this to them. And whoever else, random person on the street. Hey, watch this video. I'm gonna airdrop it to you, or whatever. Okay? subscribe, hit the little button, do all my little things. Also, in the description, I have my email if you would ever like to book a personal session with me. I'm a Reiki master, healer. I read energies, read cards, and I do 30-minute sessions and 1-hour sessions, all of which are in the description. And email if you ever want to buy me a coffee or would like to donate to my channel in any way. My Venmo, Cash App, are also in the description. So, yes, I love you all. Thank you.